how literally do you take the Bible? This person goes on to write, curious how people relate to the Bible and what are the reasons. Example, I think the Bible is a human document pointing towards the truth of everything. I accept the Gospels most literally, like I believe in Jesus was and is the Son of God, did miracles, was crucified and resurrected, but I don't take the cosmology in the Old Testament or apocalyptic stuff literally. Interesting. How literally do you take the Bible? Okay. Great question. I'm sure people take it on a whole bunch of levels. Please take a moment, comment down below. Are you a word for word, everything is literal type of person? Are you more of like, these are amazing stories that you can gain so much insight into and that they're not so much to be taken literally as more of just like a golden guideline that applies to everyone's life? What do you think? Honestly, I kind of have a suspicion. It's just me. But I kind of feel that on one level, it's not literal and it's just amazing stories that you can gain so much insight to your life from, kind of like what I was saying, like these amazing principles to live life from and to not get caught up on the little wording and the specific terms they use. And on another level, it's 100% literal. You just have to be at that right level. You have to understand that, like what they mean when they say the certain things, like the specific little terms. If you take it from a literal standpoint, but you're on level 1 of understanding, and you're like, the apple from the Garden of Eden, like what? It's not literal. It's a story. It's a story about, kind of thing. But if you can get to level 10 and you understand the real meaning of everything, I think it is literal. Like every single thing in there is literal. You just have to have the right knowledge and understanding. Even on a scientific level, it's literal. And I have a suspicion that in the future, science and religion are going to come to a point where science proves everything in the Bible, and that people are like, and everyone believes from either a scientific standpoint or a religious standpoint, just on faith and reading the Bible and stuff like that. But I have a belief that, like, if you're in the know, it is literal, but you just have to be really, really deep in the like knowledge and what they meant. And some of it's like very specific to that time period, and other times it's like very specific to like very deep level science. Like I was watching this video on how the windows in churches, like some of the ancient stained glass windows they had, actually represent the DNA molecule. When you look at it from above, our DNA looks exactly, like unmistakably like some of these ancient stained glass church windows in a way that could never, it's not like a mistake. And all I mean by that is I think in some point of life, we're going to be able to use science to prove everything that's in the Bible. Sorry, I kind of went off there for a second. But comment down below. What do you think? Is it literal? Is it figurative? Either way, it's good stuff. This person says, quite literally. Many say that the Bible is fake with made up stories, but I'm just going to believe it regardless. It's God's word. I believe in the Old and New Testament. Definitely, I think there's a lot of people that have a similar sentiment. And you know what? I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, there's like a scale where it's like people who don't understand it, but just follow it regardless, get to the same point as someone who completely understands the power and the reasoning behind it and follows it. It's the people in the middle who think that they're smart enough where they don't need to follow it. Those are the ones that actually, I think it's called the midwit scale. Sounds kind of judgmental, but there's like the people who are like, like blindly follow the Bible even though they don't understand the majority of it. They still just are like, I love my Bible and I'm gonna follow my Bible. And they follow it. They actually get really good results if they follow it because they're not lying, not stealing, they're not doing all these things, right? And even though they don't understand fully the significance and the science and all these other aspects of it, the person who like finally gets to the full understanding of the world, like, you know, like, oh my gosh, it's all right here in the Bible. They were right. I see through it all. And you know what? It is. It was true. It was correct all along. And sometimes you don't have to get to that point. You know, sometimes if this person, that, like the person said, they're like, I don't fully understand it, I just follow it. And that person might get good results. A lot could be said for that. Like even like sometimes with your diet and exercise, like you don't necessarily need to fully understand, you know, nutrition and like all the nuances of exercises and all that stuff. If you just eat healthy, work out every day in some way, you kind of get great results. You don't necessarily have to have a PhD in, you know, like what do they call it? Like in a degree in like I just had it on the tip of my tongue. But like you don't need to have a degree in it to know, you know, what foods to eat, what foods not to eat. You know, the exercise, going for a run or lifting weights or something a little bit every day goes a long way. Like sometimes you don't need to fully understand things to get good results. And I kind of feel like religion, and especially like the Bible and Christianity, you don't necessarily have to understand the complete story on all the levels. If you just kind of follow the basic principles like the 10 Commandments, if you have Jesus in your heart, if you build a great connection with Jesus in your heart and God, that will take you farther than trying to scientifically understand the universe around you. You might end up farther than the person that just is trying to figure everything out with their brain instead of just letting God in their heart. That person, the person that lets God in their heart, might make it through the maze of life easier than the person that's trying to use their analytical, logical brain to figure out all the, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Well, it's beneficial to do this. Well, it's not beneficial to do that. Like you might kind of run into more dead ends than if you just let God be the compass of your heart in a way. Hope that makes sense. I kind of went off there. Okay. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys have to say. What would you tell this person? How literally do you take the Bible? I really don't think there's a wrong answer. Even if you take it from a super surface level, I think there's a lot of great knowledge in there. Even if you don't believe it, but you still follow it. Like by believe it, I mean even if like you don't literally believe it, but you still kind of incorporate the principles and build a relationship with God, I think you'll have great results. Pretty much almost on any level, if you follow the Bible, you're going to get good results. That's my opinion. I hope you guys are having a great day, a beautiful day, a blessed day. I hope your family's doing good. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.